Welcome to In the Room, where we explore the elusive world of casting for film, TV, and commercials. Join us as we interview directors, writers, producers, and actors, taking a deep dive into their experiences with casting and how the ultimate decisions are made in bringing a story to the screen. Get an inside look at casting and find out what really goes on in the room. All right, here we are. I'm Heather Kafka, and I'm an actor.
I'm John Williams. I'm a casting director.
I'm Christopher Shea, and I'm a producer.
See, it's so bad.
And you're listening to In the Room, obviously. Today, we are here with some amazing talent that we are finding at South by Southwest, and I'm going to start by reading some incredible bios, starting with Lauren Noll. She is an LA-based actor-director from the mountains of East Tennessee. Her feature directorial debut, Same, Same, But Different, is a female-driven ensemble comedy highlighting three women navigating the tensions of their cross-cultural relationships and the pressures of modern life, friendship, and womanhood, and has its world premiere at South by Southwest 2026. Most recently, Lauren co-wrote and starred in the Oscar-qualified short film The Heart of Texas, which screened at more than 75 festivals worldwide, and earned Lauren a dozen acting awards on the festival circuit for her performance as Janie Mae, a down-on-her-luck country singer caught between a last shot at her dream and the crushing responsibility she bears for another dreamer she collides with on her path. Across all of her work, Lauren is drawn to intimate, character-driven stories about ordinary people searching for grace and meaning in chaotic worlds. Her love for actors and their craft is undeniably infused into her directing style. She approaches each project with honesty, humor, and deep compassion, crafting stories that reveal the beauty and hilarity of being human. Hailing from a rich background in theater, Lauren earned her graduate degree in acting at Harvard's American Repertory Theater and the Moscow Art Theater before her focus pivoted toward film. Lauren first stepped behind the camera with the short drama Honor, an intimate autobiographically inspired story about coming of age, coming out, and facing expulsion from Brigham Young University. The film earned multiple awards and launched her new path as a filmmaker. She followed this short debut with Gen V, which began an ongoing creative partnership with actor-writer Dalia Rooni, and secured the pair a development deal with Adi Shanker's Bootleg Universe. The duo went on to make Clean Slate, a recipient of the Collaborative Film Challenge Grand Jury Prize, and a grant from Black Magic Design before embarking to make their first feature film, Same, Same, But Different. Now, we also have Dalia Rooni. She is an actor and writer with an extensive resume across film, television, voiceover, and commercial work, having shared the screen with acclaimed talents like John Travolta and Rainn Wilson. Dalia's complete lack of patience led her to writing her own material. I can relate, girl. Her script, Operation White Boy, a comedy thriller exploring religion across generations, debuted at the Diversity in Cannes Film Festival. And her horror comedy, Gen V, won Best Writer, Best Concept, and Best Acting awards at the CFC. Along with being the proud voice of Ms. Marvel, Dalia's on-screen acting credits include Scrubs, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Wonder Woman, and Code 3. And we are really, really happy to have today Dalia Rooni and Lauren Noll in the room with us.
And thank you. That was a great show, guys. Thank you very much.
We sound quite impressive.
We had, right?
So impressive.
You sound very impressive. Harvard.
Harvard. They made me include it.
She always is like, I went to school in Cambridge. And I'm like, shut up. You went to Harvard.
I'll say Boston. I'll go out of my way to not say the word out loud.
But I think I heard like an East Tennessee in there too somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm from Johnson City, Tennessee.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Famous from Wagon Wheel.
And did you graduate high school and then move on? Or
Yeah, straight out of high school, I went to
Cambridge?
college. No, I went to BYU, Brigham Young University, for undergrad. That's a whole other story.
That's a definite story.
Yeah, I did grad school at Harvard.
Windshield wiped across the country.
She's lived many lives.
I darted a bit around and then back out west now to LA.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did you guys meet? How did you meet?
We met at Equinox Hollywood when we were hired as personal trainers.
Hey, okay.
Yep.
We watched each other like make short films while maintaining like an entire roster of clients, and just like
Yeah.
being up at 5:30 in the morning training clients and like
Yeah.
running to auditions and coming back, then making a film. Like
Yeah.
it was just wild, and we were like, oh,
We're like, you're the same as
You're
me.
the same.
Aw.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
did you guys both move out to LA thinking to become actors and draw out a career there as actors?
absolutely. I mean, I dropped out of NYU after 2 years and was like, this is it. This is what I'm doing. My mom was like, no, she's going to become prostitute. It took about 10 years for her to stop saying that.
Oh, man.
I'm the
But-
flip side of that story. You dropped out of school. I went to school just so long and hard. I just kept going to school.
Together, we
went
make
through all
one well-educated
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
And what was the call towards the fitness aspect of it?
Oh,
Having a job.
Yeah.
Oh, but you guys
Yeah.
you guys were like, we're physically fit women. We can train people. We understand muscles, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
no, I was an athlete.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I played sports growing up too. But no, grad school, I mean, acting programs are like very physical. I was doing like fencing in Russia
Wow.
during my grad acting program and like
Jesus.
dance classes, like 12 hours a day. I mean, it was really, really intense. So it didn't translate necessarily to the gym, but you could take that like understanding of how to move
Yeah.
your body and like and figure it out.
Yeah.
Would it have
We
been
did a lot of
easier
the
to be a
same.
trainer? Because West Hollywood's like the fit of the fittest, right? So is it easier to be a
totally.
trainer in West Hollywood versus like Sherman Oaks or something like that?
Oh, I mean, we were in Hollywood, like smack dab in the middle
I
of
mean, yeah,
Hollywood.
West Hollywood's like
Yeah.
the fittest dudes in the planet.
Yeah.
Clients
I would
are,
say
like,
Sherman Oaks would have been an
executives. Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
Probably.
yeah.
Like unfit people are easier than fit people?
For sure, but also it's like all the mamas and babas in Sherman Oaks. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
your grandparents.
Yeah.
West Hollywood is like, you know.
Okay.
We saw all kind. We saw all skill levels.
So were you guys
Yeah.
taking any acting classes in LA? Like just regular run-of-the-mill acting classes while you were doing stuff? Or were you just straight up auditioning?
I mean, both. I think I've tried almost every acting class that exists
name
in
'em. We
LA.
probably all
Yeah.
know them. Name them.
Oh, just like John Rosenfeld. I mean, I've tried them all. BGB.
I did BGB mostly
Yeah,
for a while.
yeah.
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 Wow. Sounds like a grind.
It's a grind.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I think making your own stuff is like the best way to learn, though. And,
Totally.
you know, you learn
Absolutely.
in front and behind the camera. You learn,
Yeah.
you know.
Once I started doing that, it became more of the focus. And like I would get an audition now and then, and I would be like, finally, there's an audition. You know, I went there thinking like, where are the auditions? You know, and like you're waiting for them. And then once I started making my own stuff, an audition would come in, and I would just be like, ugh, like I'm busy. I got to tape this. You know what I mean? Like it started to feel like that, and you're like, oh, that's cool. Like this is in my control.
Yeah. I find it
Yeah.
fascinating that you guys were awake so early every morning because I always find that the morning fitness classes are the hardest ones to get to, but they're really the ones that kind of separate like the people who are really interested in becoming fit and not. And they say that thing too about like billionaires or whatever, like they wake up like an hour and a half before the rest of the world.
Mhm.
5 a.m. club.
When
It's
you
the
were
millionaire
when you were
morning,
awake
baby.
Mhm.
when you were awake for that long before everybody else is awake, you really
It's the
do
best.
feel a certain sense of empowerment
It's the
that
best.
I
You
cannot
do.
relate to normal people.
Well, and actresses traditionally have the earliest calls on set. So
Totally.
I think we're primed and ready to go.
Well,
Yeah.
crew
It's
comes
good
in before the
training.
actors,
It's good
but yeah,
training.
you're right.
No,
I'm
No,
just
it's a-
saying, like,
it's a
what's going on
specific-
in that moment as you're
Catering comes
becoming
in before
friends.
everybody.
You're developing like a friendship that you met there, right? And then also finding early time hours to discover that you could be like creative collaborators together.
I mean, listen, the workday starts at 5:30, then you're training until like 10 or 11, and then you have a break, and then you're running to an audition, and you come back, and then you have a couple more clients.
Yeah.
So we're there sometimes until like 7 or 8 at night.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was just happening in between all of the sessions.
Totally.
Did it
And
feel like
we-
it happened very fast?
Yeah.
Like you guys became fast friends?
Oh, yeah.
very fast.
Yeah.
Friends.
So
Very,
you-
very fast friends.
So there was
Yeah.
like more to like than to not like or not get along with. Like you
yeah,
guys
I
were
think
like,
still
like-
more to like than not to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've hung on to the friendship through
Yes.
thick and
it's
thin.
a rare thing
Yeah.
to find
Yeah.
someone that you click
for
with so
sure.
well and then
Yeah.
also find creatively that you can collaborate with this person and sort of
Yeah. And I
Totally.
think we found that out working on that first short together.
Totally.
When we were both just like, I think we'd both worked with people who would like maybe take a minute to like text you back or get back to you. And we were both just like,
Too communicative.
and we were just so like had the same sense of urgency and the same sense of It's maybe a little manic. Like
No, it's definitely unhealthy. Like neither of us are normal.
We
Did you
should
know
work
that at
on
the time?
boundaries.
Yeah,
we
for
should work
sure.
on boundaries for sure. But
Also-
no, we were just on the same wavelength. Yeah.
Also, Lauren was. Am I allowed to? She was dating a Persian woman when I met her. And so she was trained to deal with me.
There you go.
Like she was.
It's like, I got it at home. I got it at work.
Like she knew how to put up with a Middle Eastern woman. So I'm just saying, thank you very much.
It requires
you know
a
who you are.
certain level of tolerance. Is there a certain level of
I think
patience?
so.
Okay.
We're just high maintenance and demanding. I'll stop talking. All
See
right.
how smart she is. See how smart she
I
is.
can't. I'm not gonna speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
She's more mature than I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an honest
Yeah.
admission for sure. For sure. So before we even get into the themes and the making of
Yeah.
Same but different, I have to ask, what was the moment that this story sort of first came to you, and why did you feel like it was an important story to make?
Totally. This story is inspired by a true story of a weekend that I spent on Cape Cod with 2 other Middle Eastern women for my friend who was getting married. And it's like this weekend that I point to and I'm like, that's the weekend I went from being a girl to like a ma'am. Like I was this cute girl who could like steal tampons and get away with shit. And then all of a sudden it was like, ma'am, do you have kids?
Yeah.
Like, ma'am, where are you? And so it was pivotal and it hurt and it was, heartbreaking. And Lauren and I knew we wanted to work on a feature together. And we were kind of going back and forth, like, what should we make? And I kind of talked to her about this weekend and she knew a lot of the people involved in the real thing.
Yeah, I've met them. Yeah.
And she was like, that's it. That's the story. So,
No, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, this couple that gets married in order to keep dating, and they just take that on, and like the friendship aspect of it was so lovely too. Like the 2 like friends of the bride who kind of butt heads a little bit, and like not saying that in real life.
no,
that
in
was
real
the
life, we
case.
don't. But yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, just this idea of these like really distinct personalities, but they all share, a similar heritage, and like and that they all sort of had these like one of them had a relationship that sort of started to find its way to its end, and the other, was coming together, and then there was this wedding that we just felt so like family and heartfelt and small, and like the beach as the backdrop of it all. I was like, oh my God, it's like it has so everything.
Yeah.
Also, the different relationships and the dynamic between the 3 of them was super interesting.
Totally.
Totally.
Yeah,
And,
you
having
have
and the
the
way you guys did it to play
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
same but
Totally.
different, like
Relationships.
between the 3 girls,
Yeah.
between the 3 relationships, between the 3 guys,
Yep.
like all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys did a really good job. It was really good.
Comedy
Yeah.
is such a
Thank you so much.
hard thing to do right now.
Mhm.
There doesn't seem to be a lot of it existing in
Not
modern
anymore.
cinema. I know. I feel like it's the thing we
Same.
need the most of, but it's
So
also.
exhausted by
I think people are afraid, honestly, to sort of venture out
I
into
am
a comedy
too.
narrative because they think that you're either going to get canceled or you say the wrong thing. And in my opinion, we always give the comedians like a little bit more of a runway to say those things and put those things out
Totally.
there, like test
Totally.
the wall and see how we're doing.
Totally.
Well, women-driven story too, and a comedy, so it's very, very good
Even
to see.
riskier.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
riskier.
It's
but
even
great to see.
riskier, and you add brown women too, and you're
Yeah,
like, damn, I
right.
really can't
Yeah.
say anything.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right.
But you do. You
But
say
I
it all,
do.
You know what I mean?
But
Yeah,
I
you
do.
say it all.
I need to
Like,
move
you-
to
in the
Austin.
movie, you say it all.
I gotta.
How long
So I
ago?
can get away with it.
How long ago was what was the difference in time between when the story existed in your life, but to when you guys started shooting?
Totally. This actual thing happened in 2020.
Okay.
So it was very small, I think, because of other reasons too, like obviously the pandemic. So, and then I put it to paper in 2023. 2024. We shot it in 2025.
You put it to paper in 2023. That was the first draft. You and I sat together at a coffee in a coffee
2023.
shop. Yeah, that was when I was like, "Oh, this is it." And like days later, she was like, "Well, yeah, I'd kind of already started on it, and we were talking about
Okay.
it." And it was kind of a drama then, right? That's when
Mhm.
it was a little bit more dramatic. And I was like, "It's not." No, like there's something in this story, but this isn't your voice. Just use yours, use your voice. And that's where you started departing, I think, like really bringing the characters away from like the real life.
Totally.
I think when you write from something that was based on real life, you have to understand like what will work for the film and what's an inside joke that won't you know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
what and so you have to have some departures, you know.
And that's why it was so nice
Yeah.
to have you direct this film, someone who knew a lot of the real story, but also wasn't me, because you were able to like be like, those pieces are great. Let's get rid of this fluff that is not needed here.
Mhm.
And it was just so nice to be able to.
Yeah.
I mean, you did such a good job with it.
Oh, well, I mean, her words, her brain is just, it's magic.
So it is always good to have like an extra person who steps in as that editorial role, especially in the early developmental stages.
Totally.
Everybody needs a
What about
sounding
the
board.
journey to get it made? Like that's the heart, right? Get the money.
Were you guys constantly
still
revising in this process, or did you kind of like, this is it, we're gonna make it, like you said, and then it's like, now what?
Because
Now
the
it's
things like
money,
you said, you
that's
want
what
to
ladder.
keep doing the things you can control,
Yeah.
right? And then
Yeah.
it's like you can control that one, but it's so hard
Well,
to
it's
make
like,
happen.
You put it down for a second because she started, I'll toot her horn a little bit. She started booking left, right, and center. She like had her first TV gig. She was like working on every commercial that you've ever seen, like on, you know what I mean? And so she kind of was like doing her thing for a minute. She put it down and then the strikes happened and it was like, I think you had a moment where you're like, oh, I should not have put that down.
Well, yeah, I don't do well when I'm not working.
No,
So
yeah,
yeah,
but immediately
the
you were
strikes
like,
forced us not to work. And
yeah, let's pick it back up. And I
Yeah.
had a short out on the circuit at that time. You're like, I'm doing that thing again. I was like super focused on my thing at the time. And I was like, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, let's read it. And you had a new draft of it by then. And that's when we went around the table. We heard Medallion's voice in it for the first time. We heard Logan's voice in it for the first time.
But to answer your question,
Yeah.
yeah, like the script was done, and then at some point it was like, how do we get it made?
Yeah.
And
That was 2020.
the answer is just like sheer force of will by 5 women over and over and over again for like a year.
What was that path there? What did you guys? You probably tried everything, but
We literally tried everything. I mean, the first piece of the puzzle, there were these producers out of South Carolina
Area, yes.
that like had seen Lauren's short film, loved it, and were like, when you're ready for your feature, let us know.
Mhm.
So they were the first piece of the puzzle that came in. That's Emily Reach-White and Chris White,
All right.
who are Studio 15. Then it was like, how do we crowdfund? How do we do that during the LA fires? And then a big piece of the puzzle that came together was the house. So the house I found on Airbnb, I like DM'd this guy on
The Cape Cod house.
The Cape Cod
Yeah.
house. I DM'd this guy on Airbnb. I was like, this is the dream house. I need it for this movie. And I get a call like 3 minutes later. And this guy is like, Dalia, did you just send me an inquiry about the house? And I was like, uh-huh. And he was like, well, pitch me this movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
And this is like before our table read, right? So like I had never talked about this movie out loud. So I'm like sitting on the edge of my bed and I'm like, yeah, so like these people fall, like I just pitched this movie. And he was like, look, if you handle your business like you handle this phone call, I have no doubt this film will be successful. And you can have our house.
that's amazing.
Oh, wow.
And then he later became an
That's
investor.
movie
in the
magic
film.
luck right
honestly,
there.
it is,
Wow.
everything was like that. It was like a miracle. There was always some huge new problem to overcome along the way, and then some miracle that it would answer
So
it.
the advice here is call every Airbnb and tell them you're going to book it for a movie and see if you can get them as an investor.
No, the
No,
advice
honestly,
here is put yourself out there and let the
Yes.
universe deliver.
And
'cause
I-
this is what's happening.
And it, like within another month or so, because I was on the road with that short film, I was in Cape Cod at Woods Hole Film Festival, and you had already made contact with them, and we were like trying to shoot. I think even in October that
We were trying
year.
to shoot that
We
year,
did
which was
push
ambitious.
to April. Yeah, no, I mean it would have been insanity, but we were that insane. That being said, I was like, oh, I'm gonna cover this festival. I told my my partner that I worked on that film with, I was like, I'm going to that one. I'll cover us. And I was focused on the film, but I was also like driving up to this house and like I scouted it for the first time.
Oh, you
met
took
them.
Persian sweets to them, didn't you?
I did. And then
Yeah.
I met the couple, and then like I joined that like relationship, and we really hit it off, and we're like drinking wine all night. I
And
went
then
to
we
Scout-
all had an orgy.
oh yeah.
Oh, Dalia, no.
And
And
That's
this
what
is
it
why I got
sounded
into
like.
film, guys.
That's what it
What?
sounded like.
And that's the basis for the next movie.
And so the moral of the story is
Wait,
if
so
you
now
have
we're
sex with people,
then you can
Yes,
yeah.
I'm listening.
So okay, so
Yes.
basically call
And-
Airbnbs,
and
have sex
bring
with them. What was the
and bring Persian
what
sweets.
was
bring
they-
Persian sweets.
Right?
what were they like, or why was their interest? What did you find that their sort of fascination or interest in
Thank
investing in
you
you
for
guys?
diverting.
Yes, no problem.
I think they fell in love with us. I think
Yeah,
they fell in
the
love with the
people.
team. But also,
With it-
when I explained that the story was like these two people ended up falling in love over the course of one weekend on a beach on Cape Cod, the man was like, I fell in love with my wife over a weekend on the beach on Cape Cod. Like,
We're
how
done.
could you script
No,
this?
that you can't. Oh my
You
god.
can't.
Oh my god.
That's incredible.
So
I'm
he
getting
was
goosebumps.
invested, and then he loved us, and we loved. I love those two.
We love them so much. They're coming on Wednesday to our screening.
Oh,
awesome.
Like
Amazing.
kids. Oh my god, we're so excited.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
No, I mean we lived in that house while we were shooting it.
Yeah.
The house was a huge part of it. So it was like that. A little bit of equity, but I'm talking about like little pieces, like some,
Mhm.
and then
A killer crowdfund
crowdfunding
campaign.
campaign, the tax credit, and we were like, do we have enough to just like roll cameras and then we'll figure it out for posts? And we just like, I mean,
That's
I
what
think
we
we
did.
like
Well, you don't feel it on
officially
screen. It
greenlit
looks
and we're
great.
like,
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it doesn't
Thank
feel
you.
like it was, and we all
No,
know
thanks.
because we've made those movies.
Yeah,
It felt
not at
great.
all.
Yeah.
I know. I'm a producer, Brian. I'm watching the dollar
Yeah.
signs come across
Yeah.
the screen in a lot of ways.
I was
so.
thinking 2, 3. Who knows? But I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Let's go with
let's
that.
go with that,
For
right?
sure.
Because you guys are
sure.
in talk with sales. It was like 10.
Yeah,
I
totally.
think,
Yeah, no, I'm a little higher than that, but yeah.
She's done that too, where she's shot in a house, and it's so like I think such a gift to be able to be with your crew and everybody and stay there and like a
Totally.
family make a movie.
Really like a family.
Is that what happened?
Yeah,
You
and
guys
my
housed up in this house?
Totally.
yeah.
How many
and my-
bedrooms did it have?
5.
Okay.
Yeah, like you and Mike were sharing. I guess we didn't say that yet. Mike, who plays Ryan, is Dalia's husband.
With the like
In real
18
life.
pack?
You with the 18 pack.
Good-
yeah.
good on you.
Thanks so much.
Good job.
Yeah, they were sleeping in the room that was their room, Nadia and Ryan's room. I was sleeping in the room that was Rana's room.
My parents were there.
Yeah.
They were our caterers.
Amazing.
So so they lived in the house too. So we've come a long way from my mom thinking I was going to become a prostitute. And like we would have to kick them.
She was there spying. Is she really doing?
I know, seriously. But like we're kicking them out of the
Covering
kitchen so
her.
that we can like shoot in the kitchen. So they're like, cooking in the laundry room. They're
Literally
like doing weird dicing onions on the washing
on the
machine.
dryer.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
I
That
come in and
tracks.
I'm like, Mom, don't let Kevin Nealon see you cutting onions on the washing machine. Like, this is mortifying.
Kevin probably loved it. What are you talking about?
Kevin was like eating her
Yeah,
hummus. Like, this
exactly.
is great.
Yeah,
Oh my
Kevin
God,
loved it.
we ate well. Speaking of,
They're making you
the most
Cultural, Iranian,
incredible
Middle Eastern
food.
dishes. the
Straight
whole
up
time?
like
Oh.
kebab, like everything.
Saffron
That makes me
rice,
want to
saffron
cry, man.
rice,
On a lot of
Kevin.
levels, because that
Well-
is a true treat to have like that
Yeah.
culinary cultural effect. But then also the fact that
Oh.
your parents were being so supportive to do that is
So
just
special.
They were so
It's-
good.
What did
And,
you
like,
guys do about crew? Did you know crew out there? Or?
Oh, so when I was at Woods Hole Film Festival, we were fully like trying to get this film off the ground. And so I was also on a mission to find local help. And I found our line producer, Alicia Orsini. And she's like a board member there. And she was doing a panel about filmmaking in Massachusetts. And she's a line producer and was like the head of Women in Film New England for a while. And I was like, I just cornered her. I'm like, you will talk to me, have coffee with me, please. And like, she was so down, and we showed up.
She
and
was
there
incredible.
great. I mean, I interviewed many, like my department heads. We brought our DP, but everyone else was local there,
amazing.
and they were just incredible. And in fact, many of them, I mean, some of them lived close enough to be able to sort of commute in, but we also filled. There's bedrooms you don't see in the film with like bunk beds and all this stuff. I mean, they slept. Our wardrobe and costume room was like this big upstairs den that's never in the movie, and it also had 4 beds in it, and like every bed was filled.
That's so cool.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
was
that's
very
cool. That was-
crazy.
What a great way to make a movie.
a
You
dream
know?
come
brother
true.
like slept on the hospital cot that John
He
is
did.
in the movie, like when he came to visit.
Yeah,
Well,
he
cool
did.
too to
parents
hear
came
that
and
it's
they
all
were
like
in the wedding
women, like that's what she's always asking for and trying to get to is women-driven films. So it's great to hear that's happening.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
so cool.
Yeah.
It was
Because
so
women
cool.
just walk up and they say, "You will help me," and it happens.
And
That's what
it's
you do.
magic.
Right.
True.
1000%. And I like learned that skill from you because I'm pretty
Aw.
humble. I mean, she's very bold and like has challenged me to get outside my comfort zone in the last however many years that I've known you, and I'm like absolutely better for it and wouldn't be here without it.
Oh my God, that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
It's okay. We'll go back to that. I'm just kidding.
We'll go back to being
Were you guys
dicks.
on set a bunch, like praising your team, your
course.
crew? Like,
Yeah.
I sometimes AD a lot and whatever. And when you're working on low budget stuff where people are having to bunk in rooms, there is an impetus on trying to put positive vibes out and thank people profusely for for, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know if these kids
And
were like 22-year-olds or if they were
Oh,
like
it was a
42.
mix.
Yeah.
It was a mix. I think
No,
the
yeah.
food helped with that, though.
The food, I mean, honestly, like when you're low budget and you're paying an appropriate wage, but like the lower end of what they might, make sometimes, and of course they're grateful to have the work. I think we were the first film in of the year, so we got lucky.
Mhm.
But I mean, no, like our first ACs are like on American Fiction, on everything that you see that comes through that region. Like they're working on huge films, and we had, like our dear Nora, who like was our social media intern that helped us get through the crowdfunding campaign. She
Shout out to
came,
Nora.
Shout out to
Nora!
Nora.
and she was like the first team PA, and like she just like, fresh out of school and like one of her first production gigs, and like so we had the span.
Did
And
you
she was
find
so
the
good.
crew to be like not as jaded as like an LA or New York crew, or were they like really
Definitely more down to earth.
Down to
Like
earth.
all of them are
So
like
fun.
grabbing beers, hanging out after, and
That's
I'm
great.
like, this is so
They-
strange.
Yeah.
Like they like
Yeah,
each
you know
other.
when you're-
Doesn't
yeah,
happen
it's
in
like
LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, IOTC or something. I don't grab. I
Yeah.
don't touch that.
And
Yeah.
Right.
stay for like 4 months. It'd be like 6 a.m. and we're waking up and they've like just barely like put down their last beer. We're like, you're gonna be
Like
okay.
that's like some
Yeah,
New
yeah,
England
they, like,
tolerance.
they
Like we
love
don't
each
drink
other.
like that.
No, they really love each other. Yeah, and they say I would go out into the garage because that's where all the gear was stored,
Staging,
and they would
yeah.
have like a table out, and they were still there. And I was like, oh my god, do you want to come inside? Like you don't have to sit in the garage.
No, they prefer it there.
They loved it
in the
there. Yeah,
cold.
yeah.
Was it cold?
New England.
Oh my god, it was
What
so
time of year
cold.
did you guys shoot?
It was April. There
April.
was sleet in my eye at one point. It was
that water.
cold.
That was that water.
No, I mean
There's very little footage of that scene for a reason because it was so cold.
When you guys got in the water?
Yeah.
Yeah. It
How
was
cold are we talking about?
No,
Does anybody
wait.
know?
When you got in the water that was the last day. It actually had warmed up a little bit. It wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be earlier. We got
It's
in
just right
earlier
above
in the
freezing.
month.
What are you complaining about?
We
there was
got
a day
in
that it was
early in-
sleeting into my eyeballs.
It
And
was,
Lauren is like,
yeah.
"Can we do it again?" And I'm like,
I'm sorry. I was like, get
full
the
on
inserts. I need the
hypothermia.
inserts. And they
Soldier.
were like, no, we're not. I'm like, okay, sorry.
Incredible. Incredible. I love
Yeah.
stories like that when you're having to brave the elements and you have a great crew and
Oh, so good.
you get to kind of go into this production designing it if it is your first feature or if you've never done it before and you're not just designing like what the movie's going to be, but you're sort of designing the production.
the experience.
People are going to have to
Absolutely.
like bunk in beds. Your parents are going to
Totally.
make this
that was-
incredible food.
That was essential to me. I was like, I'm making my mark in the world as the kind of director I am to work with on set right now. And I want these people to feel appreciated and loved and like know that we're so grateful for them. And also that we trust them to do their jobs well. I'm not
Mhm.
going to be, you know what I mean? Like I need them to do their jobs well. I don't know how to do your job or I would, you know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've got enough on your plate as it is.
Sure.
You of course need these folks to sort of do the things that you're asking them to
Yeah.
do. I mean, it sounds like Nora, for instance, is already wearing like multiple hats. Like she's
Totally.
like, I'll wear 2 or
Everybody-
3 hats right now.
Totally. Everyone wore a bunch
Everybody
of
was
hats.
wearing multiple hats, and their departments were, smaller than they might be on some of their bigger films, but obviously for me, larger than what I'd had on my short films.
Yeah.
And so
How many days was the shoot?
we had 17 and a half days of production.
Oh.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
One day in LA.
So 16 and a half in Massachusetts, our main
Mhm.
unit, and 1 day in LA.
Wow.
Mhm.
Doesn't feel like that. It feels like a big scope movie.
Do you? Yeah, it does, right?
crazy.
It does
We
feel
thought,
large.
I was like, this film is going to cost $100,000. We're going to shoot it in 15 days. It's going to be so easy.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, no.
But let me ask you this, because we
Yeah.
hear this story all the time from people that
All the time.
you get to make this film. It's such a great experience, and then they go off and make something bigger,
Mhm.
and they have the money, they have that, and then they come
Mhm.
back and they go, I just missed this
I
world.
I feel I guess I'd have to return to that question
Right.
once that
You
happens.
want to go
and
have that experience.
of course, I want it to be like a little easier and have to have more resources next
Mhm.
time. But I loved the like theater camp feeling of it all. You know
And
what I
think you
mean?
could
Like the
take-
summer
I mean,
camp
maybe not because
vibes.
of the money and they don't want to risk it, but I think you could merge the two
I think that's
somehow.
what John and I are always hoping
Yeah,
for.
hoping for.
yeah.
Having that like creative boots on the ground, scrappy feel of having to like, well, we don't have the money or the time, so we
Mm.
have to do this, and then something magical happens.
Yeah.
But also be able to
I-
call a third meal.
But also,
Yes.
but
and
also-
and give people like
wow.
Yeah.
and-
I personally fear I'll be chasing this high like the rest of my life.
and you do
Totally.
chase it.
Yeah,
I'll be
just
honest. Sometimes you find these magical moments and they're unreplicatable, unfortunately,
Totally.
but you try your hardest to get it back again.
and I almost know that that's the case. Like, in what world do you have, like, your best friend directing your first movie, the cast you dreamed of, your parent, like, your family witnessing, like, who you are as an adult and, like, what you do. Like,
Yeah.
my husband
my-
playing my boyfriend, like,
Yeah.
it's never going to be the
Yeah,
same.
my parents
And I'm already mourning it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
But the Boston boys, Ben and Matt, like they've done it for kept
Yeah,
it together.
boys
with
club.
Casey,
Yeah,
yeah,
They've been able to keep that family together.
Totally,
So
totally.
I think you guys can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, we are
hopefully.
family.
If they
Yeah.
decide to make Cape Cod their
There.
shooting location.
We're just going to keep that house, and then next one will be a horror film. Then it'll
You know
be
what we
a.
gotta do? We gotta buy
Yeah.
that house.
We got to buy the house. It was for sale for a second.
It
Can,
was for
Was
can
sale.
I? Well, can
We're
I?
opening a GoFundMe.
Starting right now, donate this money. Can I ask though, because you did shoot not in the place that you live and work
Mhm.
on a regular basis, does that have like a certain attractiveness to it now that
Oh.
you've done it and you're like,
Oh my God. I'm like, next movie, Italy. The one after that,
I
Greece.
love leaving town and just going and working on something and just
Yeah.
like being in that space. It just really preserves like your presence.
Mhm.
Totally.
Yeah, that's one of my life goals for my journey on this planet. That being an actor ticked that box perfectly. Where
Totally.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna shoot a movie here and get to
Mhm.
experience that geographical landscape and that culture.
Totally.
And that I'm gonna shoot a movie
I've been
there.
fortunate
and
enough
then,
to shoot all over America, and it's really nice to go to a town that isn't like film obsessed,
Yeah.
because everyone's so nice
Totally.
and still excited about it.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of like real people casting. I can walk up to somebody and they're not
Yeah.
jaded. They're like, "Oh, my cousin's a lawyer. I know what you're trying to do."
Totally.
Yeah, like-
Yeah.
Speaking of, we cast all locals. Like we put an ad in the papers in Mattapoisett.
Yep.
I didn't know you
for
could still
our,
do
Oh, the
that.
wedding
Mattapoisett. Oh,
guests.
no.
Yeah, for
John.
our wedding
Oh, for the
guests.
wedding guest,
And
yeah.
the Mattapoisett, like some
Tribune. The
publication-
Mattapoisett Tribune.
Yeah, and some publication there, like, wrote an article about Joey Lauren Adams coming into the diner and like down to like what she ordered
Oh,
and
my.
like and
Yeah.
like and then she said thank you. Like, you know what I mean? It was just like every step of the interaction. You're like, we're in that kind of town, and it was so charming.
It was really endearing.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I
true what
love
they
a
say,
small
especially
town.
with regards to incentives and stuff. I mean, I just made a movie in December out in West Texas, and you start thinking about ways in which you can engage the population, the newspaper or the high school. We shot at a high school, for instance, so we gotten really with the superintendent and stuff like that. And before you know it, you're going to like the gas station or the little one-plex movie theater.
Dude,
They're like,
that's
"Are
my
you guys
life,
working on
babe."
that
Yeah,
movie
they
that's
know
in town?"
you.
You're like,
They
"Yeah."
know you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Our
I tried to
friend-
buy some blankets in Mattapoisett, and
Yeah.
she was like, "Take more." She knew
Lo-
exactly what we
yeah.
were.
Logan
Yeah.
Miller, who plays Adam,
He's great.
he's literally writing a script based on his experience of spending those 2 weeks that he was on set in New Bedford,
Bedford.
which was just next door to Mattapoisett, and it's where the actors stayed in a hotel. We stayed in the house, but we had actors put up in this hotel there, and they would go to the bars and just have like the wildest experiences. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's the best as an
Yeah,
actor
yeah,
to be
yeah.
on location is like
totally.
getting to like just live a sort of
Mhm.
like dip your toe into a different
Totally.
lifestyle and like
Totally.
what the local bars are like.
I think
what the-
that's like
Yeah.
the biggest appeal for me as an actor is
Yeah.
that like I get to live so many different lives in this lifetime. And that includes, now I'm from this town in Mattapoisett for a month.
That's,
Yeah,
I
you
couldn't
know.
like. I'm like, I have my life in Wilmington. I have my life in
Mhm.
Savannah. I have my life in Atlanta. I
I
have
love
my
it.
life in
Totally.
Chicago.
I
Like,
love it.
you get 30 days at a place, and you're like,
Yeah.
I know what it feels like
And
to live
I'm-
here.
Yeah.
And I'm good.
Yeah.
And I'm
You're good.
I'm such a sucker for small towns. Like I love
Same.
small
Me
towns
too.
so much.
Yeah.
And I can't I need to like live in a city, that's why I've been in New York and now LA. Everybody else they come to us to vacation, and I'm like, let me go to a town with 200 people and one cute little downtown
Diner.
street,
Yep.
and that's where I want to
Mhm.
spend a week. Yeah.
Yep.
So
And you
let
can
me
just-
talk about the casting. How did the casting come together
That was
for
my
this?
question too. Yeah.
Well, I'm the casting exercise.
Sure. You should do it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, go again.
So tell me about the casting.
Yeah. I mean, the early bits of it were really organic. Dalia, of course, was attached. She wrote Milena for me, and we kept the size of that role sort of manageable for me. And I think I was the one who was like, I want Mike to play Ryan, who is her real her real life husband.
And dancer. Great dancer.
Oh my God.
That happened in real life.
That whole scene was so charming.
I'm so glad you
It
think so.
endeared me to his character
Yeah.
so much after that. And the
I'm
way he
so
just
glad you
gets back
think
in
so.
bed. and he's like,
Wait till you hear that man did that in real life that wedding weekend for her friend.
oh my God, really?
Okay, that's the moment I knew he was my husband, when he took his clothes off
Oh,
to strip
fuck
for my
yes.
friend.
Yes.
And not only did I objectify him once 5 years ago, but I objectified him again now
mean,
for the whole world to see.
Yeah. And Mike is an actor. He did have background in acting, but he was mostly focused on writing now. And I'd literally never seen him act. And I just didn't, I was like, no one's going to get it. Like, no, they're going to do too much. They're going to play this
Yeah.
like influencer. And I was like, he's so dry and he's
Yeah.
so like, you
Yeah.
don't know.
He's an understated anchor.
Yeah.
There's
Yes,
enough
and
going
that's-
on with the other characters.
This is actually his role in my life.
It is
Understated anchor.
It really is. Like, it's exactly how
I should
he is in
introduce
real
him.
life. And that's not to diminish his
My understated anchor.
performance
No.
because he had to be comfortable
Absolutely.
acting like himself. You know what I mean? But it's who he is in real life. And I like really adore him. And so
A little
and
too
I'm-
much.
You
adore him a little too
I'm
much.
straight for Michael Baszler only. No, but I mean, I've known them. Mike also worked at Equinox with us, by the way. When
It's
they
also
were
my love story with him.
when
Yeah.
they were just friends, I was also friends, and then I became the third wheel. No, but so
and
it's
then
like,
we had an orgy.
oh,
Yeah.
no, Dalia.
It
No.
always
back to the
ends
orgy.
with the orgies.
Yeah.
That okay.
How many people can
We'll
you put on
skip that
how many
part.
people can fit on a row machine?
Like, don't tell them about that, Dalia. Okay, so
4.
No, but okay, so that's
Got
those
that
two.
done.
Medallion. Also, you had written with her previously, and
a
when
really
she came,
incredible up and coming
Oh
talent.
my
I've had my
God.
sights on her for a long
Mhm.
time.
she's
Medallion Rooney.
she's so good. She knows exactly what to do on camera. Her essence is perfect for the role, and she came on. Also, she's one of our producers, and so when she loved the script and she attached, it really made everything else possible.
I bet.
And so she brought Logan to the first table read. We when it came down to casting, we went back to him. We were like, he was so good, and
He made that role likable.
yes.
And it was tough. On paper, it's kind of like a one-dimensional
That-
character, and he had to have depth. And,
That was my fear for that
yeah,
role. I was
yeah.
like, I'm afraid we're not going to be able to like this guy.
totally. And also, the same for Set. The character,
Yeah.
Layla Mohammed, who plays
I've always-
Setare.
Mm.
Also, I think some people could have fallen into the trap of just making her fully across the board unlikable, but she did
Yeah.
a really good job of bringing humor
Mhm.
and like a Persian Elle Woods thing.
Totally.
And so she was
just
perfect.
Such a good way
Yeah,
to
she
describe
did
it.
one of
She's
our
like-
table reads as well. She was a friend of Medallion's, and Medallion brought her in, and it was a second table read, so not the one that Logan had done. But I mean, she opened her mouth, and all of us just
Gasped.
cracked. I had to cover my mouth because I was just like grinning from ear to ear, and I was like, "Don't give it away!" Like, she was perfect. She just understood. And then after that, we did bring a casting director on, Jamie Ember, who did an incredible job of like, getting us these lists. I think we really auditioned Pat a lot, and we saw so many actors, like really great actors, and they would like. Absolutely, they did the scenes wonderfully, but there was just something. It was like either the balance with Mike was going to be off, or like, can we believe this person
With
with
Layla.
Layla, or can we,
It was
and
really
they would get
hard.
the comedy in, but not the vulnerability, or vice versa, and like,
Right.
and it was so hard, and we just never landed. We like almost thought about making some offers, and then, and I mean, I'm talking about like there were people we really loved, but there was just one thing that we couldn't quite land, and we took a meeting with Richie Moriarty, and like. He didn't even read for us. We just met with him. And like, I think we still had, I'm sorry if any of these actors hear this. I think we still had like callbacks after that.
No,
Like,
we didn't have callbacks.
no, I meant, no, not after that. I mean, in that same session.
No, we didn't have
were-
callbacks after that. Callbacks had already been done.
No, the callbacks were happening at the same time as we were meeting with him, is what I'm saying. We had men still reading, but once we had seen him, we
You
knew.
don't even know if the deal's
That's all
going to
I'm
go
saying.
through with the
Yeah,
agent.
totally,
You don't
totally.
know.
That's all I'm saying. I wasn't saying like we met him and then we later scheduled callbacks.
The worst
like, we
is
were in the
making
middle.
that decision and finding that guy and then not getting him.
Not getting him.
No, well, no, that's the other
Which
thing. Is like
we, yeah.
then like the schedule maybe became an issue, and I tore the schedule
And he has
apart
kids.
and put it back together. Yeah, and he was on his off season, the one,
Kids.
yeah, from Ghosts, and he wants to spend time with his wife and kids, of
Ugh,
course. So he
He's
needs
not
to be
a
able to
real
get
actor.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, like meeting with him was just like an answer to a prayer, and obviously. Joey, when we sent the script out to her, we were just like, I hope she likes it. And we heard
Why
that
did
she
you
did.
send the script out to her? Like, what did you have her in mind for that in particular?
No, I mean, I think we had gone through some lists and we were like, she was on Jamie's list. And when I was looking at the list, I saw her and I was like, oh my God, of course. And I got on Google and I was like, and I saw her do a recent interview and, it wasn't even acting. It was just like a red carpet thing. And her essence was just so like grounded. And you needed Rebecca not to be this like sort of rich, pretentious woman. She is
Yeah.
wealthy, but she needs to feel like just salt of the earth, right?
Mhm.
And that's what Joey Lauren Adams just is in real life. Her smile will just like melt you. Like she's so
genuine, and like for me, I needed her to not look like too LA. Like Joey looks like a real person who was just just so natural and lovely, and
she's just such a wonderful, she was so supportive of us. She's just a wonderful presence. She was so generous with her spirit and her time. And
can I just plug Richie also really quickly?
Yeah.
Richie has this video on Instagram that he auditioned for SNL with, and it is him going through a 5-minute Hamilton song that he has and there's these like photos that he's carrying, and he's dropping the photos and changing his impression while doing the full Hamilton rap. And it's like Mickey Mouse and then JFK. And then like it's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And everyone must watch this video.
Yeah, I mean, he's an insanely talented comedian. We were really lucky to have him, but he was also like so available to be vulnerable as Pat as well. And one of the things I love about Pat is you get to see like male body insecurity on screen.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Kevin Nealon, my God, like we sent the offer out to him. He's like, I got 24 hours, but I really want to do it. And we were like, yes, we're gonna figure that out.
That's
and like
so cute.
he's just, I mean, I had obviously seen him on SNL, but I watched Weeds, so
Yeah.
I was
great.
like,
and he's such a cool guy.
He's
Oh.
so
Yeah,
cool.
he's such a
He's
cool
so down
guy.
to earth.
yeah, he just hung
Yeah.
out with us the whole time he was there. He's in and out, and he was bummed he had to leave because he was on tour, and like, he
Kevin's
brought
great.
so much to the movie as well. And
So cool of
he
him
was
too
like,
to jump in for 24 hours because like a lot of guys
Yeah.
that I've put offers out to, they're like, I'm on tour, and they don't want to.
No,
That's
he's
great.
great.
No,
I think
he
he was
was like,
excited to
I
like
really wanna
reprise
work it
his
out.
grandma's boy role too, as this like shaman character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He-
I mean he's probably used to. I think he lives in the palaces.
Yeah, I don't think I noticed
Yeah.
till the wedding or something.
Not
He
anymore.
turned around
Yeah.
and he had like this
True.
like
The
rat tail.
Yeah.
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 And he he has like some moles on his face in the movie, and I found out it was like 2 days before he got there, and the makeup our key makeup artist was like, Lauren, so Kevin wrote and he wants moles. He wants the character to have moles. And I was like, I mean,
Moles
like-
it is.
Okay.
I was like, absolutely. Of course.
That's so weird. I was thinking moles too.
If Kevin wants moles,
I
Kevin
wish
gets
I did.
moles.
I
gets moles.
I wish I came up
That's
with
so
that.
funny because I was like, does he
Yeah.
have moles? Like, is that a real thing?
Oh, it's so funny. But I mean, he's also just so lovely and supportive. And
Part of his writer, you must
have
mention I don't
moles.
have
I know.
moles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
No, but when someone wants to play like that, it's so
Oh.
fortunate.
Yeah.
Especially when
Totally.
you've got like someone who's a veteran who's so just like
Totally.
experienced and
And I
fantastic
mean, he was
at
just
their
like,
craft. but-
yeah.
and
he was-
so down to earth.
He was having so
Yeah.
much fun, like just chatting with the background, that was there, like, because he was obviously, officiating the wedding scene, and In any case, he was awesome, and he's got that, he's an executive, like he's just supportive of his friends and his people. Like Tig calls him, and he jumps onto the Come See Me in the Good Light, the documentary that's
Mhm.
nominated for an Oscar
Sure.
today.
Yeah, tonight.
Yep.
Holy cow, that's where
Mhm.
he is. That's why he couldn't make it. Just because he believed in the project, and that was such a beautiful story and will just bring you to tears. And, he's a comedian, but he's also like doing, that kind of work in the world. And
Yeah.
every person on our set was just like a really good, solid human being.
Yeah, that's really
Mhm.
fortunate.
Well, congrats
and
for you
great.
guys because
Yeah.
that's not always the case.
No, but and like I think
know.
I heard what you guys were talking about earlier. It's similar with number one on the call
Before you
sheet.
almost died.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
almost die. It's like when you're number one on the call sheet, which I was fortunate enough to be one time recently. And I realized it's, what I bring to set today is going to mean it's going to set the tone for everyone else.
Totally.
Because I'm working with a lot of younger students who are new to everything. And they're going to be looking to me for and if I show up and I'm a total head the ball asshole, it's going to just taint the whole thing.
Totally.
And so when you have... it reminds me of Arlie Ermy on Chainsaw. There was a moment where he's just getting doused with water in a rainstorm, and he would come into the bar at the end of it, and they would always run up and be like, "Would you like some towels?" And he's like, "Nah, fuck it. I'm good." And he's like, "This is the greatest job in the world. I wouldn't want it any other way." And everybody else is just like, "That's amazing." Arlie's standing there in his own dumpings of water and dripping, and he's just loving it, lighting up a cigarette. He's like, "Let's do this," and that carries a lot of weight on set with the whole vibes for everyone.
Well, and it's Kevin Day too, and so everyone's like, "Oh my god, he's gonna be here
oh my god,
today."
what's he gonna be like?
It's Kevin Day.
Yeah, you do. You get nerves
Yeah.
like that from crew and everything of
Totally.
is there a don't make eye contact kind of thing or whatever? And when
Yeah.
someone's
Kevin Day.
genuine and is like, "Come on," it's just such a
Such
good
a relief, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
stress relief.
Everybody can breathe again.
Yeah,
For sure.
Okay.
So, Dalia, I mean, I have to ask, this story comes from an Iranian-American perspective, and the film is set firmly in the U.S. and in Cape Cod. So how did you think about balancing the cultural specificity with the setting of, of shooting that is very American, being
Yeah, sure.
in Cape Cod?
Well, first of all, I was born in Republicana, Pennsylvania. And at 7, we moved to Dubai, to the Middle East.
Okay.
So the backdrop of my life has always been brown girl, white setting. And I'm very comfortable in that.
Yeah.
And I like that juxtaposition. And so these 3 girls, the same but different, they're 3 different girls of versions of immigrants, right? One is fresh off the boat, one is 10 years removed, and one is first-gen American, but they each have these white boyfriends. So I wanted to put them against kind of a similar backdrop and to show the variety that can exist when you see these 2 things on paper.
Right.
Yeah, kind of as a way to be like, fuck you, Hollywood. Look how different this can look.
Yeah.
What was the question?
It just how did you think about balancing the cultural specificity
Sure.
of these 3 Iranian women, the Iranian American women, with the setting that is very American?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think my upbringing was obviously very informative for that, but also just Persian girls who date white guys, we don't give the white guys enough credit sometimes.
Tell us about that.
It's true.
That's interesting.
I was saying, Lauren was, ready to deal with the high maintenance girl. It's the same thing. My husband knows a bunch of Persian words. He's in with the culture. He knows about the taraf. He knows about all the little idiosyncrasies that exist with our culture. And I wanted to bring that to stage too, because I think sometimes when we show these stories that are pro-brown people or pro-brown stories, the white people are the antagonists, and that has not been the case in my life, and I don't think that's really pushing anything forward for film or for narratives on TV. So yeah, it was how do I show the humor in this but also not villainize anybody, and hopefully we did that.
You did
I think
that,
you
for
did
sure.
an
100%.
absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic job of it.
It was a story about life,
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and Lauren, I would just direct it to you. How do you protect the cultural voice of the script while making it your own as a filmmaker?
No, of course. I
a
mean,
good
that
question.
it was incredibly important to me, and I think there was a point in time where I asked Dalia, and even though we went into this together, and I was like, "Go write that one. That's what we're doing." There was a moment that I was like, "Wait, are we sure? Should you get an Iranian director?" I mean, we brought it up, and I think that version of the film would be incredible too. You know what I mean? But we had the team. Obviously, I relied on Dalia and our cast, our girls, who have their own lived experience to bring to the table. We also hired Arash Azizi, who's he writes for The Atlantic. He's an incredible historian. He's written a book called What Iranians Want. He
A cultural consultant.
yeah, he was a cultural
An
consultant. He
advisor
also
on set.
he also
That's cool.
translated and worked with the girls on the language, and you guys worked together on that. But we also talked to him about okay, if Rana came here, like 4 years ago for school, what was the state of Iran then? Like, what would her connection be with? And okay, for Set, let's say she came here more like 13, 14. She came to live with some cousins in Chicago so that she could be able to get into the good school. That's what her family did. And she was wealthy there. Like, what would her experience be? And then Nadia, her parents probably came in the 70s, right? Like, you know what I mean? So what would these girls, what would their lives be like based on what year was that
Right.
in Iran and in Tehran and you know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
like we did that, of course, but as you said, like I have to find my own way in. Like I've
100%.
decided, I go, okay, I'm taking the responsibility of telling this story. I need my own way in as well. And, you know, we talked a lot about, you talk a lot about third culture kids and feeling sort of like that sense of like trying to find belonging.
Can you just tell our audience real quick what that
Yes.
means? 'Cause
Yeah,
it's an interesting term.
Third
Yeah.
culture kids are kids who are raised in environments different than that of their parents. So that could be first generation Americans, first generation anything. And also like as it pertains to Lauren, like, okay, go ahead. I'll tell you how you are a third culture kid.
Oh, is it what I'm going to say? I mean,
Yeah.
okay. No, I mean, yeah, that just finding that sense of belonging between and so for me, obviously, it's not a directly parallel experience, but I grew up Mormon. I grew up in Tennessee.
Mhm.
Being a Mormon in Tennessee, I had like there was like one other of us in my school. You know, and it was the Bible Belt, so it was a very religious area. But I went to church with my friend when I was like 14 on a Wednesday night to a youth group because it was like the popular church. That's like the kind of world I grew up in, and you probably know that too from like the part of Pennsylvania you grew up in. But and they were teaching this lesson on like cults, and they talked about Mormonism, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm different from everyone here. And so then I went to BYU, right? And I'm like, oh, like here's where everyone's like me. And then I found out I'm gay. And I was like, that was opposite too. And so there was this thing, you know, I was like putting these puzzle pieces of my life together based on sort of like, there is very much a culture inside the Mormon church and like, you know, the belief system and the doctrine. And I was like, you know, building a lot of my identity around that. And then all of a sudden I have this like new puzzle piece in my hand. I'm like, oh, where does it go? Like, it doesn't fit here. And so I had that moment in my life too, where I had to reckon with these like two parts of myself. And I was like all in the church too. I was really kind of a believer, and I had to unwind a lot of that in the last 10 years of my life. And even to this day, though I have done that, I still feel very connected to that as in terms of it being like the roots and like the cloth that I'm made of. So I took that seed and I let that help me understand. And then beyond that, I'm just a woman who's grown up and lived different lives and like pivoted between careers and relationships, men to women.
Yeah,
Well,
women
the
to
complexity of
woman
the
to woman,
performances.
yeah.
I mean, I didn't never thought about this, but now I can totally see it looking back. That like the way they reacted to each situation based on when they arrived in the country. Like that's really really cool. Like I can see it now so
Thoughtful.
clearly. Yeah, very thoughtful to build the characters that
decided-
way.
I was like, if we got to do it right. If we're gonna do it, we got to do it right. You know what I mean?
And I'll give you a lot of credit for that. Lauren is like such an actor's director, where she just did like a ton of work to like the history of these characters and talking to the actors about like what that might be like and how that might change not only their accents but also like just like what they're bringing to the table or how they would react to certain things.
Did all three of you speak Farsi?
It's funny. I think I probably speak the most Farsi, but like
Yeah.
I don't speak any in the film
You're
because I play the
perfect,
first gen.
Oh,
My
that's
character
right.
doesn't.
That's true.
Yeah.
Removed, yeah.
Layla Mohammadi is only half Persian, so you know she did a really good job, you know, memorizing lines in Farsi that you know weren't exactly native to her. And Medallion has a very good grasp of Farsi
She
as well,
does.
and she speaks the most in the film.
To Layla's credit, Layla's like the most prepared actor I've ever met
It's
in
true.
my life.
It's
Like
true.
her work coming onto a set is immaculate, and she just like really rose to the occasion.
Hmm.
Um,
She knew other people's lines. She'd be like, "That's not the right line." Like she was that memorized.
she's yeah. She loves what she does, and she takes it very seriously. And she was a joy to work with.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. And that a movie like this can exist, which sort of works as like a piece of like the, you know, Iranian diaspora cinema in a way. But it's also, and what I believe to be one of cinema's greatest gifts is something that recognizes differences but celebrates them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And also allows everybody to kind of find what they have in common as a way to also be celebrated. Because outside of all of the different, groups and cliques and organizations that we find ourselves a part of and then not a part of or exiled from in some capacity throughout the course of our lives, when you do find a way to like meet people where your differences are and then find the things that you have in common, which at the end of the day, if you ask me, all humans have like the top 3 things in common. We want to live prosperous, loving lives in safety, and pretty much it's not a lot, but yet here we are. We have trouble figuring that out in the world. So
totally,
and this is all still in a world that's so relatable. Like everybody's had a wedding, everybody's like the love, falling in love part, the clunkiness of the relationships, the friendships, the family in the background, like all of the juggling all of those dynamics is like so relatable across all human experience.
Totally, and that was so important to us too. Like we just didn't. We wanted it to feel like it could be commercially viable. You know what I mean? We didn't want it to feel like, oh, like this is, a film about Iranian women, so it's niche. Like like they're just Friends was all cast of all the same ethnicity who were just distinguished by their personalities. And I'm using that as an example, but it's like a lot of things. It's
all of the other ones.
Yeah, it's pretty major.
And we love that show too. And so it's like it could also be.
They could have been any. They could have been any culture
and,
too.
And
you could have inserted any.
Gone dramatic with it, right? Like to approach these subjects, and it's so great that you guys kept it like, basically a romantic comedy. It was great.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, the humor was very important to preserve. Yeah.
And it must have been an interesting job in post production too, like finding that tone with like music cues and editing and stuff like that, in terms of getting kind of the message you wanted to get through.
For sure.
Were you guys together a lot through the editorial process, or did someone try to stay away and maintain some sort of like objective perspective, if you will?
I think I always try to stay away, but I'm not good at it. And then she's like, go away.
Yeah.
Well, no, you actually did like, I was really impressed at how this is her baby, you know what I mean? And she really gave it to me and let me make it my baby too. You know what I mean? And I feel that it is now. I mean, it's ours, and I, I mean, I ran, nobody came to, well, Zane did. One of our producers, Zane, she came to one day of edit with me.
Too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did come once. Okay. So, but for the most part, it was me and my editor, Stephanie Williams. Shout out, Stephanie Williams. I love you. We spent a lot of days in her little studio in her living room in Sherman Oaks, and just out. And then I would get to a certain point. We have a team of 5 women producers, and I would send it to them, and be very specific about what I was looking to hear. And then I would take, everybody's notes into account. And I really considered each and every one of them. I took so many notes. Like I really did. I think this is a team sport. If you
she
have a
was
good
super
idea,
collaborative as a director. I've never seen
it's
it.
a good idea.
That's great.
But at the end of the day, I did lean on my own instinct and gut. I was like, I know why something is working or not working already that you might be bringing to me because we've tried it already or, whatnot. And from there, I just...
That's the thing with notes too, right?
Gut decisions.
It's like, no, I've tried all these things. Trust me.
Yeah.
And so and I'm verbose. So
She's verbose, y'all.
I would explain that in great detail.
The emails are long.
I would often respond to every single note they sent me back, just so that they could understand that I heard them, I considered it, and
these are paragraphs.
Yes or no.
Yeah.
Paragraph responses.
But I just really wanted everybody to feel like ownership and understand. Like I didn't want people to think I didn't. I was just like, they spent this time giving these notes, and I just didn't even listen to them.
That's better than I've worked for people that their comments like you should not breathe anymore.
Let's see if she's like this on the 5th movie.
Very.
Yeah.
It's incredibly important to me.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's in the future for this? Where are we at?
I mean, we gotta sell this baby.
We gotta sell this baby.
How's the festival going? How's that going?
So good.
Yeah. Have you guys been here before?
No.
To Austin, Texas? The
Oh,
first time?
really?
I've been to Austin
Okay.
a handful of times. This is my first South by.
Your first South by?
Okay.
Your first time in Austin?
No, okay, so I came here once on a job working with an events company and got fired when I was here. So my Austin experience wasn't great the first time.
Short-lived.
Yep, but
How
now
old
I'm
were
back.
you?
Hopefully no one's
How do
going
you
to
get
fire me this
fired
time.
from an event?
Oh, John, you're
Have you
asking the
met
tough questions
Valerie?
again.
So I've been fired from 11 jobs. But let me just specify, these are not acting or film related jobs.
No.
Let that be clear. I had a stomach ache, so I might have laid on the ground in the middle of the event. And then they kicked me out of the state, so that was cool.
That sounds like their problem.
What year was that?
That was 2015.
Okay.
They were called Catfish Entertainment. And I'm not holding a grudge.
Womp womp.
No, they're not called that anymore. They're not. They're not.
Yeah,
called
they're out of business.
That's who owns this company.
Yeah.
No,
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That
So, but
would be
South
so
by's
good.
going well?
South by is going so
What
well.
have you guys seen things or
We've been really busy.
just running
Yeah,
around, right?
we have been.
It's a lot to like,
Yeah.
make yourself sit
But
in a movie
I-
theater for 3 movies, but then also
Yeah.
handle your own shit.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
see Sender last night, though, the world premiere of Sender. Incredible. So proud of them. And it was the first time I got to see a movie that wasn't my own since I've been here. I mean, obviously,
Right.
I'm going to try and catch them all once they're
And you're
ultimately
meeting
all
people
released, but
yeah.
and
Yeah,
finding
we're-
that easy to navigate,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, there's actually just so many choices. There's 100 things to do at any given point, and you're
It
going
does
to
feel
meet
that
someone
way.
You guys
at
got a
any-
good
at
team. I
any
know you got a good PR person
given
because
way.
she
Yeah,
got
totally.
you guys here.
She's the
Yeah.
best.
And then good entertainment lawyers, like
Yeah.
good team built out and all
really
that.
good
Oh,
team.
yeah.
Really good
Great
team.
And you guys
And
got
we're
sales and everything in
Dividing
place.
and
Yeah.
conquering. Yeah, we've got they've been coming to the screenings. We've got one more, and the most exciting thing is going to a party and like you're meeting somebody and they're telling you about their project and you tell them about yours and like what's the name and you're like same but different. They're like, oh my god, I heard amazing things and I'm like, oh, yay!
Yeah.
Like people are
Mhm.
talking about
That's
it and they're
great.
enjoying it and it just I mean that's
This is your
so
first like
meaningful.
time through this process, right? The sales and because it's like a
I'm
whole.
ready.
It's a
other
whole
beast.
different
It's a
thing
whole
that
other
nobody
beast.
teaches you.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything we're learning as we go
Yep.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is so great because we had
But
Erin,
don't take
a
advantage
woman
of
named
us.
Erin Brown Thomas on our podcast yesterday, and
My
she's the
friend.
one who said you need to reach out to my friend
Oh
Laura
my
Noll
god.
and get them on your
She
podcast. So
yeah.
I just made a movie with her out in Texas in December. So
Oh my god,
Um,
amazing.
Lady Kings.
yeah,
No, wait.
So-
Wait, Lady Kings. We know Lady Kings.
We found Lady
Their
Kings.
crowdfunding campaign was so good.
We've like literally modeled our crowdfunding campaign
Oh,
after
yeah?
that crowdfunding campaign.
Interesting.
That was
They were
how good
like,
it
oh,
was.
look at this like team of women and they raised $100K in a month and like
It was very impressive.
it was really impressive. And
It was
so
very
we,
impressive.
We looked at them as a model because we did it shortly after them. And then and
Thank
I
you,
actually
Lady
know
Kings
Elizabeth.
of Texas.
I know
Elizabeth
Elizabeth
Ness.
Ness. She and I used to take acting classes together in New York.
Oh, okay.
So random. And I saw
she's
her
here,
yesterday too.
too.
Yeah. And anyway, but then Erin attached to it later, and I know her separately, and was like, I mean, the world is really so small.
It
It's
gets
interesting.
smaller and smaller, doesn't it?
I love
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any
This
idea
space
that we
is
could
pretty
all be
small. Like this
Mhm.
independent space is
Mhm.
pretty
Yeah.
small.
yeah. But it feels
Mhm.
good. It's nice to think that you meet these like-minded people
Yep.
and you could be
Totally.
working with them
Well,
in
and great
set of
Totally.
story,
years.
great
Totally.
movie, great everything. Good job, guys.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
Yes.
you.
Really
loved it.
great.
Really
I hope
enjoyed
that
it.
we see this on the shelf. I mean, are there shelves anymore? No.
What
I don't think
shelf?
so.
What are you talking about?
Hey, I just want to go back to Blockbuster
just
days,
0
you
cents.
know,
Yeah.
renting a movie and stuff like that.
We're
But
gonna go to Vidiots.
Idiots.
No, Gen Z
yes.
is bringing back the.
I hear
They're
that.
bringing
Well, we
back
had-
physical media.
Tangible media.
Well, and they're bringing
Are
back
they?
the Paramount. They
Kim?
do like third
Oh,
run
you're Gen
shows,
Z,
and
aren't
there's
you?
all kids in it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I'm technically a
hold it to
Gen
be
Z.
the-
I'm
yeah.
holding on to that.
yeah.
Are you? Oh, I
Uh,
I actually am guessing.
You guys probably have.
I don't know.
They got a place to go.
Yeah, let's. You're a
Oh, wait.
millennial?
You're 30?
Oh my god!
I think you
So
are a millennial.
I thought you were like
Oh,
22
you're
years
a
old.
millennial.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're cute.
30 is the best age in the world, though.
Really? I liked,
Listen,
I
I'm
liked,
40. I'll say it out loud.
Yeah, I liked 33 to 36. That was like,
Around 36, I started freaking out.
really?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not gonna
then
tell them my age.
25.
What
I
are these
don't
people doing?
Yeah.
I know I'm just
mean-
embracing it. Whatever. At this
I'm
point,
89, guys.
Yeah.
Look, this is
you
what I
look
tell people when I see
amazing.
them is that age is a number, honestly.
Yeah.
And if you are working out and finding time for fitness,
Yep.
Oh, John.
that number can
I
go
mean,
There you
down.
go.
But you
Chris,
gotta take
get your
care of
protein.
this.
Chris has been badgering me and John about doing our
I'm just
squats.
saying,
and
man.
stuff.
You
You
gotta
got. I mean, you really do.
use it
You
or lose
gotta
it, as
do
I
they
work
say.
out
Use it or
5,
lose
6
it.
days a week. I don't want to hear about it. Hey, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
having
so
us.
much
Thank
for
you.
coming,
Really good.
ladies.
All the
Thank
best
you.
to you
Yeah.
guys.
Our show today was recorded in studio by the good folks at Record ATX. Check them out at recordatx.com. Our theme music is produced by Jonathan Price. You can check out some of the sounds he makes with his project, The Mid-Cities, on Spotify. Follow, subscribe, and smash that like button if you see one. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.